Well, there. Hello, everyone. It's great to be with you on the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life show. Thank you so much for deciding to join me here today. Really, really do appreciate that. If this is your very first time here, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you and I want to say welcome. If you've been here one time, five times, 10, 100, more, or maybe even lost track of the count, I want to say thank you and welcome. But I also want to say those words, welcome back, because you are really welcome here. Thank you so very, very much, guys. We are kicking through our master topic, and this is an incredible, incredible week. We always have great master topics, as you guys know that, I'm sure. All right, so before we get going with that, I want to let you know I have a cup of decaf hot tea here, and it's delicious. So if you want to get yourself a beverage, something to eat, feel free to do that and come on back quick to the show. And the next thing, if you have not checked out believemeachieve.com, do that once the show is over. I think you'll find it pretty inspiring. So you can check that out. So let's kick this show off, everyone. So this whole Master Topic Week is about build a life you don't need to escape from. Series 5, Show 34. And it's really the truth. You're working too hard on the wrong things. Series 5, Show 34. And that's episode number 4. That's today, Tuesday's granular topic. So, everyone, welcome to the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life show. I am, in case you did not know, John C. Morley, a serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student at Montclair State University, a passionate lifelong learner, and so grateful now to be a published author. Yes, guys, so grateful for that. All right. So, friends, have you ever finished an incredibly busy day, completely exhausted, only to wonder what actually moved forward for you? Yeah, many people have had that question. Sometimes the problem isn't that we aren't working hard enough, because a lot of us say, oh, I got to work harder, I got to push harder. That's not the key. We're working incredibly hard on things that don't deserve our best energy. All right. Today isn't about lowering your standards. It's about becoming more intentional about where things lead and land for you on those standards and how they belong in your life. Your time, your attention, talent, and energy are limited. So let's explore 30 ways together, okay, to make sure your best effort goes where it can actually make a difference. Or I like to also say, move the needle. So that's an important piece, guys, is people work very hard and they get into burnout. So you need to work not just smarter, but we need to work more with intention. I think that is a very important thing, guys. Very, very important thing. Number one, not everything deserves maximum effort. Okay. Giving everything 100% sounds admirable, but it isn't sustainable. Different responsibilities deserve different levels of attention. Save your greatest effort for what genuinely matters in your life. Number two, identify what genuinely matters, okay, before working harder. Determine what matters most. Ask which responsibilities, relationships, and opportunities would create meaningful consequences. If you gave them more attention, stop. Number three, polishing things today. Nobody values anymore. It's easy to spend an hour here improving something nobody will notice or benefit from. Quality matters, but endless refinement can become a sophisticated form of wasted effort. All right. Number four, know where excellence creates impact. Excellence is powerful when it changes the result. Learn where additional care improves someone's experience, strengthens an outcome, or creates lasting value. Number five, give important work your best attention. Okay. Your most meaningful work shouldn't receive whatever attention remains after distractions consume your day. Protect your time when your mind is strongest and use it deliberately. Number six, stop exhausting yourself on the minor details. You're burning out, guys. Details matter, but not equally. Don't spend enormous energy solving a $5 problem while a $5,000 or $5 million opportunity is waiting for your attention. Number seven, distinguish meaningful effort from busy work. Being occupied isn't the same as making progress, and ask whether what you're doing is moving something important forward or simply keeping you busy, or what I like to say is in an endless loop. Number eight, invest deeply in fewer priorities. So, when everything becomes a priority, nothing really is. Choose fewer things that deserve serious attention and give yourself enough room to do them well. Number nine, know what deserves extra care. Some moments deserve another review, another conversation, or another hour. Learn to recognize where extra effort can genuinely improve the outcome, or like I said, move the needle. Number 10, stop treating every task like an emergency because it's not, guys. Constant urgency destroys perspective. Some things need immediate action, others can wait. Learn the difference before every notification begins controlling your valuable schedule. Number 11, guys, and this is important, put quality where people can feel it. Quality matters most when it improves a real experience. Put extra effort into the places where customers, colleagues, friends, family, or the people you serve can actually feel the difference. Number 12, give relationships meaningful effort. Don't spend your best energy completing tasks and then giving important people whatever is left. Relationships deserve attention, listening, presence, and follow through. Number 13, focus on work that creates lasting value. I think a lot of people get looped into what they think is important, but then they find out it's not really important. They're like, wow, I spent all that time on it. That's a very, very, that's a big, big problem for, I think, a lot of people. And the reason I think they don't understand that is that for whatever reason, when people do things, they're like, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be. But then for uh, whatever happens, they're like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to handle this? And it just causes, well, it causes a whole bunch of problems for a lot of people. And I want to tell you that you have a lot of power over these things, but don't let these things, how can I say, don't let these things like confuse you because, guys, they will absolutely, absolutely confuse you. And I think that's a very big problem for a lot of people today is to understand that. And if you don't understand that, then maybe your whole problem is that you don't understand your value, you don't understand your worth. And that's something I think that a lot of people need to get. And they need to get this now. If they don't get it now, then this could be a very, 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 very big, big problem for so many people. And again, you're going to be left feeling tired, which nobody wants to feel tired, right? So create that lasting value because some work disappears the moment it's finished. Other work builds knowledge, relationships, systems, opportunities, or something that continues creating value. Invest accordingly. Number 14, stop chasing meaningless perfection. Perfection can become expensive when the difference between excellent and flawless adds a little value. Don't sacrifice hours simply because you're afraid to declare something finished. No. Number 15, know when good enough really is enough. I think sometimes, we want everything perfect, and I get that, okay? But if we're constantly trying to make everything perfect, how do we grow, right? And if we can't grow, then that's a big problem for so many different people. Like they don't understand like the whole concept of it. Okay. I think that's a very important thing for us to realize when good enough really is enough. Some people will spend their whole life, you know, never finishing because actually they didn't think it was good enough. Now you can always make things better. I don't want to tell you you can't. You can always make things better. But if making things better is going to stop you from finishing, just finish first, and then you can do things better later, right? You can finish, and then you can come back and do something later if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to do that, then I'll tell you, there's other things you can do in your life. Okay. Those other things you can do hopefully will move the needle for you. Hopefully they'll get you to understand what it is that you're missing. All right. So good enough doesn't mean careless. Okay. Doesn't mean sloppy. It means recognizing when something has fulfilled its purpose and additional effort would produce almost no meaningful improvement right now. There's lots of things for this. It could be in a marketing campaign. It could be, let's say, in a volunteer opportunity. When you know what you're doing is enough, but doing more is just going to burn you out and it's not going to really help the end game, right? So these are important things for us to think about. All right, very important to think about. But I think the more that you realize this one phrase, done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. I use this analogy when doing websites a lot, right? We want the website to be like so posh, right? But we want to get the site done and we want it to be under the standards and everything great. But then what we find out is it doesn't work the way we want because we're so hung up on dotting every I, crossing every T. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong with that, but we need to launch the site. So later on, we can work on those harder things. We can work on the things that maybe we want to fix later, but we have to get the site launched. And sometimes that can make a very big difference in your life and a lot of other people's lives. I think those are, very, very important things. And I think many people don't realize like what's happening or why things are changing. And it's because of this one thing. It's because of that whole concept of done is better than perfect. Okay. Done is better than perfect. And you'll realize that more and more each time. But sometimes you're going to say to myself, oh, what, John, wait a minute. It has to be great. I'm not saying that perfect means, it's not great. The best way I can explain this is if you've ever waxed a car, and I did many years ago. It's not my specialty. And you put the wax on, you wait to take it off, and I did a good job, but then it's not as good as my dad wanted it to be, right? It's not perfect, but done is better than perfect. And each time you do it, guess what? You become a little more comfortable. You become a little better at actually doing those things right. I think that's an important thing to understand. That's an important thing to realize, right? Very important for us to realize. And so every time you grow and you change, you'll be like, okay, now I get this. Now this makes sense. Now I know why we're in this conundrum right now. Okay. Um, that's an important piece, guys. It's a very, very important piece for us to acknowledge. Number 16, save excellence for what deserves excellence. What the heck does that mean, John? Well, let's try to break that apart. Your highest standard, okay, has greater value when it's directed intentionally. Give excellence to the work, people, and responsibilities where excellence genuinely matters. I think that's an important one. When we understand what we do matters and how that changes our life, it gives us a completely different perspective, but it also can help the output in our life. Okay, it can help the output. And I think that's a very important thing for us to be aware of. Number 17, please concentrate instead of constantly switching. Okay, every interruption carries a cost. Constantly jumping between tasks fragments your attention and get you frustrated and a lot of times doesn't get the work done. Give important work enough uninterrupted time to reach deeper concentration. Being intentional. I tell this to a lot of people. A lot of people don't get what being intentional means. It means that you're present in the moment. Okay. Be intentional in the moment. That's something that a lot of people, I think, don't understand. They don't realize. And I know what you're saying. I know you're saying, well, this can't be right, but I'm telling you it is right. Okay. It is right. When you're intentional with something, you're going to be able to get a better creative perspective on it. Okay. You're going to understand things from a different angle. All right. That's an important piece. You'll understand them from a different angle. Number 18, put your strongest skills to meaningful use. Your abilities shouldn't spend their entire life buried under low value distractions. Okay. Find opportunities where your strongest skills can solve meaningful problems. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, John, I don't know how to solve a problem. I'm not saying you have to come to the table with all the answers. I'm just saying that you need to be willing to be open to where the answers come from. All right. And when you're willing for the answers to come from different places, you can say, okay, now this makes sense. Now I get it. Now I see why before this wasn't working for me. Right. That's important. Now I get why I wasn't aligned with the rest of the team. Now I get why I was always burning out. Now I get the reason. Okay. Number 19, stop wasting talent on distractions. Talent doesn't guarantee impact. You can be incredibly capable and still spend your days on things that don't matter anymore. Protect your abilities from meaningless demands. Number 20, choose impact over activity. It's not how much you get done, it's the impact of the work you're doing, which carries forth to others. A packed calendar can create the appearance of progress. Impact asks a harder question. What changed because of what you did? Measure more than the motion or the busyness. I know some people are saying, gee, if I'm not dizzy, if I'm not busy, then I must not be successful. And that's a real, like a real misnomer. Okay. A real misnomer. And I think that's important for us all to land into, to understand like what that means in our lives and even other people's lives. So that's a very important point, guys. Number 21, give important moments your full presence. Not every valuable use of effort produces a business result. Sometimes your best effort means putting down the phone, listening carefully, and being fully present for someone or something important. When you're talking to a friend, are you constantly scrolling on your phone? And yet you tell them, uh huh. Can you put your phone down and actually look at me? Oh, that's respect, but that's intention. If you allow that to persist, you're enabling that person. Say, hey, if we're going to have a conversation, do you think I could have it with you and not, the back of your head or, the back of your cell phone? Do you think we could do that possibly? Huh? I had somebody the other day, we were on a hike and the person was going way ahead of me. Okay. And the reason they were doing that is they're playing with their phone, checking emails, scrolling. That's wrong. When you're with somebody else or with a group, you don't do those things. That's disrespectful. Number 22, invest effort where it compounds. Some effort continues producing value after the work is done. Learning a skill, building trust, creating a system, or developing a strong relationship can pay dividends far into the future. Number 23, stop performing for people who aren't watching. Don't exhaust yourself trying to impress an imaginary audience. Make decisions based on genuine valued you have rather than what you think somebody might think about you. These perceptions are important, guys. Number 24, let priorities determine effort. Your priorities shouldn't exist only in words or in a vacuum. They should influence where your time, attention, money, and energy actually go. Number 25, do fewer things exceptionally well. You don't need to become average at 20 things because you're afraid to choose. Sometimes reducing the number of commitments allows you to best work and let that show up and appear for people. Number 26, recognize where your contribution matters. You may have lots of skills, but if you don't know how your contribution is mattering or making a difference in people's life, it becomes hard to continue. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to be involved everywhere. You don't need me to jack of all trades. Look for situations where your knowledge, experience, relationships, or abilities can create a meaningful difference. That's true, guys. Number 27, stop spreading yourself too thin. Saying yes to everything eventually reduces what you can give to anything. Protect enough capacity to deliver quality where you've already committed. Number 28, make your effort intentional. Before investing significant effort, know why you're doing it. Intentional effort has direction. It isn't simply movement for the sake of feeling productive, right? That's the old school method. If I keep feeling tired, I keep feeling like I've worked, then I must have worked. Not necessarily, guys. Number 29, your best deserves a worthy destination. Your best energy is valuable, it's precious. Your strongest thinking is valuable too. Your experience and talent are valuable as well. Don't continually spend them where they create almost nothing in return. Number 30, guys, please put your best where it matters. This gets back to the whole concept of being intentional, doesn't it? It does. Put your best where it matters. This brings everything together. You don't need maximum effort everywhere. You need the right effort in the right places, directed toward what deserves the best of you. And that sounds crazy, but it's the truth, guys. And as I get ready to close today's show, some important points are coming to mind. First, working hard can appear to be admirable, but working hard without a direction can become exhausting and just put you in an endless loop of no results. You can answer every message, okay? Perfect, with every detail. Attend every meeting, accept every request, and keep yourself moving from morning until night. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, what received the best of me today? Was it something important? Was it someone who matters? Did your effort solve a meaningful problem, strengthen a relationship, create something valuable, or move an important goal forward? These are important things for us to think, but a lot of times we don't think about them because we're not in the moment. We're here, but our attention is somewhere else. Our attention is somewhere else. That's important, guys. Very, very important to understand and, of course, be aware of. All right. That's very, very important to know. Or perhaps did your best energy disappear into minor details, unnecessary urgency, distractions, and things, well, nobody truly valued? I think that's a problem for a lot of people. They can't measure it. It goes somewhere they don't want it, and they're like, huh, how do I handle this? How do I handle this? And maybe you don't know how to handle it. Maybe you don't know. Maybe that's the whole reason in the nutshell. You don't know how to handle it, right? I'm just saying. How do I know how to handle it? How do I know how to move forward? How do I know to react? Well, I can tell you this, when you become intentional with everything you do, the wheels just sort of turn in motion, almost without you having to think. Like when you pedal a bike, not having to think about how to pedal a bike. The wheels just go round and round. Now, this isn't permission to become careless. I want to be clear to make sure you understand that. I'm not saying to do your worst work or to do what nobody else wants. I'm not saying any of that. Okay. I'm saying to be intentional, but I'm also saying don't burn out. Don't burn out. Because if you burn out, you're no use to anybody. You're no use to anybody. I think that's a very important thing that many people don't get. When you're not able to help yourself, you're not able to help anybody else. Okay. You're not able to help anybody else. I think that's a very important thing for us to realize. Um, and I'll tell you that is important. And it's important because of maybe where you're going or maybe what you're doing, right? If that matters to you, then that's going to change your life. Now, it's not going to change it today or change it tomorrow, but it will change it in time. That's something that I can promise you. All right. So it's permission to become selective. Know when excellence matters. Know when good enough is enough. Protect your concentration. Give important people your presence. Invest in your work that creates lasting value. Stop performing for an audience that may not even be watching. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and thank you so much for joining me for another amazing episode of Inspirations for Your Life. You have only so much time, attention, energy, and talent to give. Don't spend your best everywhere. Your best deserves a worthy destination. Put your best where it matters. Check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations.